with the park that many people consider the jewel of Beverly, which is Lynch Park, with its beautiful waterfront views. There's a barn there that has been the object of a dedicated group of volunteers' effort to raise money to renovate the structure, and yet it still hasn't been completed. I wonder if the candidates could give us their vision for the Lynch Park barn, and also, do you have any ideas for how to finance it to completion? Rick, start with you.
Lynch Park, one thing I'd like to say is we would not have Lynch Park if it was not for a private citizen. He went to England, and he's seen people veering through a park and say, how come you're not going inside? They say, oh, because it's private. So when he passed away, his most important thing was giving the citizens money so we could go out and purchase parks. One way to make monies for the Carriage House is to advertise our public landings we have throughout the city. And in our beach areas, we have to become more friendly. A lot of these residents think that they own the property down there. But in those properties, we're allowed to fish, bird hunt, and we can walk through between historical high tide and historical low tide. Those 9 landings I was talking about, if we put the new kayaks they have, if we put holders in there, we charge each individual $5.50 per foot. That's what they're charging right now. But a portion of those monies that we're charging for the kayaks and other items that are used for the ocean, those monies, we can take a portion of that to help build the Carriage House with, in reference to the 9 landings. A lot of people don't know about those because these individuals have been hiding all these areas through the years. Brackenbury Beach, the city bought that in 1682, September 14th. It's in the city books, but they lie in the newspaper and say it's private, it's private. A portion of it is private, but if you want to walk through it between high and low, you can do it. But they discourage the citizens to do it. They put they put metal poles out there with white lines, disgracing the citizens. That's it.
Thank you. Tim.
Thank you. Lynch Park is definitely a jewel. I grew up in Lynch Park, and my kids go down there. My in-laws come from Buffalo. They love to go down to Lynch Park. It's a great facility, and we need to invest in that facility. As with the Carriage House, I think we're doing a great job moving forward on that. The pie is only so big, so there's not enough city money to help with that. But they have done a great job doing fundraisers and moving forward on that, and hopefully possibly getting some more grants, historic grants in the future. We can do that. But right now, I don't see any city money. But one thing we possibly could do moving forward is possibly increase some of the parking fees that are down at Lynch Park for residents out of city. That right now Beverly residents can go for free, but sometimes you go to other parks around the North Shore, and they're very expensive to go in. I think we maybe can increase some of those fees for out-of-city residents.
Thank you. Bill?
The city has managed this year to put aside $50,000 from the Recreation Enterprise Fund to work on the Carriage House. There are a number of people right in the front row here, including my wife, who have been working very hard on this project for a long time, and I think it's finally beginning to come. I think the one question we have yet to solve is whether we can get the place cool enough in the summer with windows being open, or do we have to go to AC? Now, there are estimates of as much as $4 million to fix the Carriage House, and frankly, that's nuts, and that ain't going to happen. But I do think we're getting close to having something we can rent on a regular basis and have it then turn money to us that will allow us to kind of bootstrap our way forward. We have very nice new massive doors about to go on. The kitchen issue is pretty much solved. We have to do a little work on that this winter. The bathroom issue is close to solved. The one nut that isn't yet cracked is the comfort level during the summer, because you're going to make your money there between Memorial Day and Labor Day. And right now, it's too hot inside to interest people in really coming there for a wedding. But we think the numbers are such that we could give real competition to Brooksby and to Endicott. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would say that, that the effort to date has been largely private fundraising, and I know that at one point there was an effort to try to get some state and federal grant funds involved. We can't make it a priority for city capital expenditures with what we've already talked about, middle school, public safety, and private fundraising capacity in this community is not limitless. So I think what we need to be very careful as a community in terms of what we put out there and promote for private fundraising. I think the Carriage House is something that ought to be a top priority for that private dollar. I look forward to working with the Carriage House Committee and the Lynch Park Committee and, you know, try to help them be creative with both private fundraising and grant opportunities.
Thank you.